What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. As y'all can see, we are not in the car today. We have changed to a new setting. Let's get straight into it. I hope you like the video. Recently, I've been allowing myself to believe and accept that I am enough. That God has spoke in His word, has spoke into me that how He made me was enough, fearfully and wonderfully made. In the Bible, it may say God created us in His image, but we don't believe it. God, I don't feel like I'm made in your image. I don't feel like I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm unconfident. I'm insecure. I feel weak, God. But I know your word says that I'm strong. I'm the head and not the tail. How do I believe? You're not supposed to feel down. You're not supposed to feel inferior to man. That's kind of how I felt. I felt inferior, like I was walking in weakness. We are stronger than we think we are because God makes us strong. You think about in Exodus with Moses. God had this plan for Moses. God wanted to show Moses how powerful he was and how he was going to show his power through Moses. But Moses came to God talking about, I have a stuttering problem. I don't know if I can do this. Get somebody else to do it. And God is like, no, I chose you to do it. You know, Moses was so persistent. He was so persistent in not doing what God called him to do. After God had led the people out of slavery from Egypt, you can see that Moses starts becoming a leader. Moses starts speaking things that God told him. Moses is no longer that insecure man that didn't believe in himself. But it doesn't really talk about the process in that of when he was insecure and how he became a leader. It's a process with this stuff. You don't just become a prisoner to the promised land. You have to go through a process, and that comes with desire, that comes with actually wanting to walk into the truth that God was telling me, but I just wasn't accepting. It doesn't matter how I feel, because yes, I can feel like I'm not made in the image of God, but I can know that I am. And so I realized that I've been walking in my feelings for a large part of my life. That comes from past experiences where I felt something was off and I was right. And so from that point on, every time I feel like something's off. That's lies, because you can feel like something is one way and it can actually be another. I had to get to a point where I had to trust God's word over my feelings. It's hard because I've conditioned myself one way, and so I had to unlearn my way to get to God's way, to accept that, God, what you're telling me is truth, and no matter how I feel, I'm going to repeat myself the truth that you told me. Shout out my fan with the bonnet. He getting waves. Give it about 2 weeks, because I'm talking right now. Thank God. It's not going to be easy to break out of the cycle that you was conditioned to doing. Whenever it's not easy, you can't go back and be like, man, I want to go back to what I used to do. That's accepting your feelings over God's truth. Just like the Israelites, whenever God was putting them through all that deliverance, whenever he had to put them in that tough environment to get what was on the inside, to get Egypt out of them, they wanted to go back to Egypt because Egypt is what felt good. Egypt is what they last known. Because where God was taking them was unknown. They had to have faith in God. They had to believe in God. I'm going to go back to a place where I know the outcome. I know what's going to happen. And that's sometimes with us. It was with me. I had to put my faith in God. God really put me in a corner and was like, you're going to have to put faith in me, because if you don't, you're going to go back to Egypt. And if you do, you're not going to know where you're going. And so I had to take a step of faith and be like, it doesn't matter how I feel. I had to believe that whatever I was doing in my past life, the life that God has for me is better, even though I don't know what he has for me. And I know it's good. You know, God doesn't want to hurt me. God doesn't want to do bad towards me, but it's just the fear of unknowing, and that's where faith comes into play. Yeah, bro, and that's why I say it's all a process, because you can't just go from Egypt to the promised land. You gotta go through the wilderness. You gotta get that stuff out of you, bro. It's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to go through it, bro. That's why I hope that this word is helping you, because I have to go through this. I hope it helps you with what you're going through. I hope it gives you some direction. Hey, first video in my room, bro. Hey, this is I kind of like this. I kind of like the little lighting, the little surrounding. I might need to change up, but thank God, man. Thank y'all for watching. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.